G'day guys, Rhys here from Spinlight Studio. Stoked to be back on the Kiive audio channel with you. And today we're going to be doing some top-down mixing. And if you don't know what top-down mixing is, it's where we start at the top of the mix, so the whole mix, do a bit of processing there, and then we go down into the lower subgroups like drums, bass, guitars, whatever sounds you have in your mix. And then from there, you can go deeper into the individual channels. So this can be a really good way of mixing a song quickly, and it can also make it sound a bit more natural than if you start kind of processing everything individually. You kind of process the bigger picture, and then you can dive into the individual channels and start tidying things up if needed. So let's dive into it. So I've got a track here, it's got pretty much no processing on it. We've got a couple of drum samples mixed in with our drums, and then we've got a dark glass on our bass DI, a couple of gain plugins across the groups just to make sure that the levels aren't too hot. So we're just doing a little bit of a trim on the top of those buses, and that's about it. So this is what the track sounds like. So pretty cool track. I mixed this one a few years back, but I thought it'd be fun to kind of strip it down and do some mixing with the Kiive audio plugins. So let's have a go, starting at the top of our mix, the mix bus. So the first thing I'm going to do is put the filk channel on our mix bus and just do a little bit of EQ. I'm going to go with EQ 1.
Cracks beneath my fade. I tell myself I can do it better. I lie right through my teeth, right through my teeth. I used to look for ways to shut the world down into my...
That is already a massive difference. So we're kind of brightening the mix up, adding a little bit of thickness to the low end, and also just carving away some of the kind of low-mid mud that can kind of blur the mix up a little bit. Now I'm not going to do anything else in that. I'm just going to leave this sort of saturation plugin where it is, probably just adding a tiny bit of color, and the compressor's not doing anything at the moment. So all we're going to do is just use the EQ on this channel.
I felt the wind on my skin, felt alive in the world I live in.
So making a big difference. Let's add some compression. Going to put the complex compressor on the mix bus.
I killed the hurt in me. I'm stronger now than I thought I could be. Leave your hate where you found it. I'm not the heart to fight it. I'll see this through. Left the worst of me in the dark. There's no one here for you to
So that's adding some nice excitement to the mix, and it's also brightening it up a little bit too. You can see we're adding a tiny bit of width up the top here, and then there's a little bit of a tone knob here. I'm pushing a little bit to the brighter side, so it adds a little bit of airiness to it. Now, something else people like to add on a mix bus is sometimes a bit of tape. So let's add Kiive Audio's tape face. So there's a couple options on this plugin to play with. I'm just going to fiddle around while I listen back until I find something that I think sounds good.
every time I misstep, the ground breaks up. Cracks beneath my fade. I tell myself I can do it better. I lie right through my teeth, right through my teeth. I used to look for ways to shut the world down until I felt the wind on my skin, felt alive in the world I live in. Clouds part everything I killed the hurt in me. I'm stronger now than I thought I could be. Leave your hate where you found it. I'm not the heart to find.
that sounds pretty nice. It's sort of taking away a little bit of the hardness of the sound, sort of smoothing out the upper mids a little bit. Having it on the 30 IPS makes it not as rolled off on the top end. We still get a little bit of brightness, but overall it is adding some nice warmth to the mix. But also by pulling the input back, we're making it a little bit more open as opposed to pushing into the saturation. I have pushed a tiny bit of saturation on the right here, but it's pretty subtle. And then we're getting a nice little low end bump with this low boost button. Let's listen to the mix bus without any processing. It's sounding pretty good. I might pull that tone knob back a tiny little bit on the complex. All right, let's keep going. Let's jump down into our drums. Let's put something on our drum bus, maybe a little bit of compression down here. Let's load up the ADC1 compressor.
Cracks beneath my fate. I tell myself I can do it better. I lie right through my teeth, right through my teeth. I used to look for ways to
Don't be deceived by the meters on this plugin because it is a pretty sensitive plugin and it is tricky to dial in. I have the hardware of this as well, and it's very similar with the metering. Like dialing in that input and getting the meters moving is pretty dramatic. It starts moving very quickly. It's hard to get that needle to move slowly, but if you listen with your ears and you like what you hear, that's what matters the most. And even though this is jumping around quite a bit, I actually like what it's doing to the drums. I think it sounds quite nice.
I tell myself I can do it better. I lie right through my teeth.
Like it doesn't sound like it's compressing 8 to 12 dBs. It just sounds like it's adding some nice smack to the drums. We've got the fast release, medium attack, compressor mode 2, and then just pushing that input to get the desired result, and then setting that output to make up for any loss level. So on most of the Kiive audio plugins, you're gonna find this THD knob, and it adds a little bit of saturation. So a nice little touch to anything where you wanna just add a little bit of extra color. So I think we might play with this a little bit as well.
Every time I misstep, the ground breaks up.
I'm digging that. Let's add a tiny bit of EQ to this. So let's get the fill channel again.
I'll see this through. Left the worst of me in the dark. There's no one here for you to hurt.
Cool. So I really like this EQ when you just need to boost a little bit of a shelf and then pick a frequency that you want to bring out. So bring out 2.3K. This brings out kind of like a little bit of smack on the snare as opposed to that really top end bite where you'd normally boost around like, I don't know, 5 to 8K. Bring out that sizzly snap in the snare. This is going to bring out a bit more of the upper mid smack in the snare. Help it kind of cut through the mix a bit better without sort of sounding too thin. And then a little bit of air on the top end, just boosting 3.6 dBs there. So let's have a listen to what this sounds like when we turn off our compressor and our EQ on the drum bus.
Cracks beneath my fate. I tell myself I can do it better. I lie right through my teeth, right through my teeth.
That's sounding pretty cool. If anything, I just feel like I want to turn the room mic down a bit in the drums. Got some automation on here, so I'm just going to pull that down.
I used to look for ways to shut the world down into my...
And that ride mic, we could bring that down a little bit. This is automation left from the old mix. I just thought I'd leave it there because it was sort of bringing things in and out in the right spot.
Felt the wind on my skin, felt alive in the word I
And maybe just pull the overheads back a touch.
ways to shut the world down into my felt the wind on my skin, felt alive.
Nice. All right, let's do some parallel compression now. So for our parallel processing, let's use Distinct Pro. So Distinct Pro has a compressor side in it as well as some saturation. So let's see if we can get a cool, crunchy, compressed sound going on here. Slow attack, slow release, adds a little bit of grab to the sound. That's sounding pretty mean. Let's turn this down and blend it in with our drums.
Every time I misstep, the ground breaks up, cracks beneath my feet. I tell myself I can do it better. I lie right through my teeth, right through my teeth.
Just gonna pull some of these overheads and room mics out of the parallel compression, get some less cymbals in there.
Ways to shut the world down into my belt. The wind on my skin felt alive in the world I live in. Clouds parted till I killed the hurting.
Adding some nice attack to the drums, just making them sound a lot bigger. So I'd be happy to leave the drums like that for now. They're sounding pretty cool. Let's have a look at our bass. Okay, so this needs a bit of love. Let's get filk channel on here, bit of compression going. Gonna use compressor 1. Love a bit of like 1K to 1.5K in a bass, just bring out that edgy sound, let it cut through the mix a bit. Digging that, just giving it a bit of extra attitude. Alright, let's take a look at some guitars. So all of our guitars being sent to this guitar bus, and let's just do a little bit of processing here. So what we're going to do is chuck on Kiive's latest plugin, NFuse. Now I think some red silk is going to make these guitars pop nicely.
Wind on my skin felt alive in the world I live in. Clouds parted till I killed the hurt in me. I'm stronger now than I thought I could be. Leave your hate where you found it. I've got the heart to fight it. I'll see this through. Left the worst of me in the dark. There's no one here for you to hold. Every time I misstep, the ground breaks up, cracks beneath my feet.
And there's a few things going on there. We've got some red silk, we've got a high pass filter up to 90 Hertz, and I'm boosting the input in so we can hit the compressor a little bit harder, and we're doing a fast release on that with the high ratio. And then we have a tiny bit of width, just pushing the guitars out a bit to the side, and then that is high pass up to 100 Hertz. So nothing below 100 Hertz gets widened out, and then just trimming the level back down a bit.
I'll see this through. Left
I do feel like I need to just bring down a little bit of presence in the guitar.
no one here for you to hold.
That sounds pretty cool. How are we traveling so far? Let's just bypass all our plugins.
Ground breaks up, cracks beneath my feet. I tell myself I can do it better. I lie right through my teeth, right through my teeth.
overall, I'm feeling like everything's sounding pretty good for how long we've spent on it so far. I could maybe bring a little bit of the air out of the drums.
Shot the world down until I felt the wind on my skin. Felt alive in the road.
Sounded pretty cool. Maybe even just bring those overheads back down a tiny bit more now that things are getting compressed a bit.
I killed the hurt in me. I'm stronger now than I.
Cool. Let's have a look at our vocals. See what we can do here. I'm feeling like the filk channel is going to be a good choice for compressing these a little bit. I'm going to try the other compressor.
Just the place for you. You've been the finest company. Every time I misstep, the ground breaks up. Cracks beneath my fate. I tell myself I can do it better. I lie right through my teeth. Right through my teeth.
Swap these around. Compression first.
Cracks beneath my fate. I tell myself I can do it better. I lie right through my teeth.
Going to do a tiny bit of 3.5K.
Right through my teeth. I used to look for ways to shut the world down until I felt the wind on my skin. Felt alive in the world I live in. Clouds part everything I killed the hurt in me. I'm stronger now than I thought I could be.
Bad for just compressing all the vocals together on the bass. It's sounding pretty cool. Let's add a little bit of saturation to this with the Distinct Pro.
Clouds parted, the daylight killed the hurt in me. I'm stronger now than I thought I could be.
That just like instantly made the vocal sound so much cooler.
Hey, leave your hate where you found it. See this through. Left the worst of me in the dark.
I think all we need to do is just bring that level down a bit. Let's just pull the output down a bit.
Left the worst of me in the dark. There's no one.
Okay, I want to try one more thing. We're going to put Kiive's latest plugin on the end of the mix bus. I'm going to use NFuse to see if we can just give a tiny little bit more polish to the mix. So we can choose between the N side or the F side, and I'm going to have a look at what the N side sounds like.
Wind on my skin, felt alive in the world I live in. Clouds parted, the daylight killed the hurt in me. I'm stronger now than I thought I could be. Leave your hate where you found it. I'm not the heart to fight it. I'll see this through. Left the worst of me in the dark. There's no one here for you to hold.
I'm liking what the dark saturation's adding to this. It's sounding nice. So just a little bit of red, bit of dark, and then a tiny touch of about 16K, just like 1 dB of that. And then a little bit of compression, about 50% on the blend though, and then tiny bit of width. One more time, let's listen to it bypass and then back on.
There's no one here for you to hold. Every time I misstep, the ground breaks up. Cracks beneath my fate. I tell myself I can do it better.
It's a crazy difference. And so that's the power of top down. that was a pretty quick mix, and we could go further and tidy this up and get it sounding a bit better. But as far as getting started and getting a quick mix going, that's how powerful top-down mixing is. And when you've got good tools to work with, like the Kiive audio plugins, it's really easy to dial in a good sound. And if you want to check out any of the plugins that I use in this video today, make sure you check out the link in the description below. Go check out Kiive Audio's website. They got free trials for all their plugins, and then if you like them, grab a copy, start using them in your mixes because they're really awesome. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to Kiive's channel. And while you're at it, come over to my channel as well, Spinlight Studio, hit that subscribe button and check out some of my videos. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.